Greetings, dear precious spirit soul that you are. Yeah, I know who you are. And I acknowledge you. I acknowledge your courage and who you are. To delve deeply into the reservoir of your divine self and all that is possible. My topic is kind of cool. Instant peace of mind. Instant peace of mind. You want to know how to? You ready? Are you ready? Instant peace of mind. Stop thinking. You can't, can you? You try. It cuts back. What about that? Oh no. You go. And what happens? These words are energized with fear. Better hurry. Better get it done. Better be making good time. You don't get there, somebody else will. You won't. Took me a long time to give up, let go of overeating. Because program as a kid, there were, 4 girls, little girls, and parents and whoever else came, relatives. And if you didn't hurry up and eat your first, you don't get seconds. Won't be, and then you get programmed for all the times your body's gone through starvation, or the memory of it, and the cosmic memory of everybody, and the movies you've seen, and the struggles, and starve. I can't starve. I better eat more. And that's what happens when you think you're not going to have it. People use it up and waste it because they want to make sure they get it before anybody else does. Is that us? No. That isn't us. And see, what happens is that comes from thinking. And that causes the agitation of the mind. Now, if you want to know how to work with it, get my book, Live Your Bliss. Because in this, Live Your Bliss, it shows you how bliss is a state of where your life begins. Bliss is just a state that you are in when your mind is not torturing you with the past or the future. You're in the center right here, you see. And bliss then isn't something you attain from anything. It's just stop torturing yourself in the mind. And that distraction then keeps us out of peace of mind. So people will then do anything. One of the best ways, I remember when I started to really look at, when I had my big television ministry and attained all the things I wanted, best-selling books and all of this, it was a wonderful opportunity. I'm so glad I did it and all of that. But when I really looked to say, well, I'm not really happy like I thought all this would do, because it isn't people love you, they love you and they hate you. It isn't everybody gets what you're doing. There can be nasty and filthy. Some of the people you give the most to turn towards you. Sometimes you see what you've become and what you're interested in, what I'm doing, and go, wait a minute, that's not me. And then you start to look at, well, wait a minute, when was I? Because I was following at one level what you're taught, what you're told. This is success. This is what you do. This is how you do it. And it was true because I could get the teaching out there. But I also noticed my very first priority has always been my spiritual life, who I am. And I always said, if I find something better than whatever I've got now, I will let that go. And I will take that next. Because I'm not addicted to the teaching or the words or whatever. As basing myself on that, but I use those as tools. Like when I studied metaphysics, said wonderful foundation, wonderful. But then you get people, they set up a business, and they would call it, whether they call it New Age or New Thought or this program or that one, and it centers on a certain thing, and then you look to see the people who then take it over. And also you see that anything gets organized too much and it becomes too successful, in a sense, too many people, in a sense, it's working with. There's a pattern that gets set up as the continuation of the institution becomes all important, the making of the money to actually keep that going. And then that also gets people then in a set program that people believe, and then you get tested on, and all the same, is this true and is this false and all that. So then, you can get a little bit of truth in it, and then pretty soon the person gets lost in all of this thinking. And so like each step, each course I've ever taken, or class I've taken, or book I've read, or person I've known in some way, because my intention is my spiritual life, even if it was a conflict or whatever it may be, because of using it to take responsibility as that coming from me in some way, to actually own that and take a look at why I brought that on myself in some way, and to let go of all of these beliefs and comments, you see, that we have structured ourselves with, you become what some people would call a liberated soul. But it's more than liberated. You're realized and activated and being who you really are, right here and right now. Say, an instant peace of mind is just stop thinking, breathe, start being. And then when I looked at where was I happy? In nature, barefooted, breathing in the fresh air and the Sierras, you know, the lakes and magnificence, with my babies, my children, teaching a class, counseling someone to help them. See? And what I noticed in that sense is we've become further and further away from where our real happiness, and it's so interesting. I wanted to get away from little small towns so I could be in the city, because everybody knew everything. Well, you know, they do that in the city too, it doesn't matter. And how I like simplicity. And I like quietness, because I can listen and be. And I live in the center of huge meadow, a 130-year-old house, farmhouse. It's really cool. And the beautiful view of Mount Shasta. But the key is also, and then growing a garden as best I can, but also looking at how the garden is a reflection of how I do everything. And peace of mind then is when you also start noticing the patterns of the thinking and what the thinking is doing to you and what it is. Then you need to learn how not to think and how to control your mind, you see. And when you control the mind and take away the emotion that you are giving to certain words and concepts and beliefs, you will stop suffering. Mm-hmm. That's the way it is.